Here are the top stories for today, January 31, 2022. Metro Manila and 7 other provinces will ease to Alert Level 2 starting tomorrow.
Nasa Alert Level 2 na po ang Metro Manila simula 1 ng Pebrero 2022.
The government clarifies that the no vax, no ride policy is automatically suspended under Alert Level 2. More pharmacies and clinics are joining the government's Resbakuna sa botika program. And let us take a look at the commemorative Year of the Tiger stamps of the Philippine Postal Corporation as it marks the celebration of Chinese New Year. Good day, I am William Theo. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. Our top story for today, Metro Manila and 7 other provinces will ease to Alert Level 2 starting tomorrow, February 1. Under Alert Level 2, some establishments shall be allowed to operate at a maximum of 50% indoor venue capacity and 70% outdoor capacity for fully vaccinated individuals. These include MICE or meetings incentives, conferences and exhibitions, venues for social events, tourist attractions, amusement parks, recreational venues, cinemas and movie houses, in-person religious gatherings, dine-in services, limited face-to-face or in-person classes, fitness studios and gyms, and venues for individual non-contact exercise and sports, contact sports approved by LGUs, fun fairs and karaoke bars and concert halls and theaters.
Nasa Alert Level 2 na po ang Metro Manila simula 1 ng Pebrero 2022. Kasama sa Alert Level 2 ang 7 pang mga probinsya. Ito po ay ang Batanes, ang Bulacan, ang Cavite at ang Rizal sa Luzon, ang Biliran at Southern Leyte sa Visayas, at ang Basilan sa Mindanao. Patuloy ang ating panawagan na pairalin po natin sa ating sarili ang disiplina at mga kinagawian. Isuot ng tama ang face mask, maghugas ng kamay, umiwas pa rin sa masisikip at matataong lugar, at magpabakuna. And if it's your turn to have one, magpa-booster shot na po tayo.
Ifugao Province is downgraded from Alert Level 4 to Alert Level 3 starting tomorrow, February 1 until February 15. Ifugao was earlier placed under Alert Level 4 due to a surge in COVID-19 cases and an increasing hospital utilization rate.
May bagong desisyon na po ang IATF sa probinsya ng Ifugao. Mula Alert Level 4 ay binaba na po natin ito to Alert Level 3. Alert Level 3 na po ang Ifugao Province simula bukas, February 1, 2022 hanggang February 15, 2022.
As Metro Manila and more areas are placed under the less restrictive Alert Level 2 status, the no vax, no ride policy is said to be automatically suspended. Moreover, international arriving Filipinos passengers who have recently recovered from COVID-19 but still test positive may be allowed to enter the country subject to certain conditions.
Inanunsyo ng Department of Transportation na kanilang otomatikong ililift o sinususpinde ang no vax, no ride policy sa National Capital Region. Automatic po ito dahil kung inyong matatandaan, ang pulisiyang ito ay patutupad lamang habang ang Metro Manila ay nasa Alert Level 3 or mas mataas pa. Samantala, isa pong paglilinaw, pinapayagan pong makapasok sa Pilipinas ang pasaherong recently recovered from COVID-19 ngunit nagpapasitibo pa rin sa kanilang pre-departure RT-PCR test alinsunod sa nakasaad sa IATF Resolution number 158. Kailangan lamang po nilang magpakita ng mga sumusunod. First, yung positive RT-PCR test taken within 48 hours prior to the date and time of departure from country or port of origin. Pangalawa, yung medical certificate issued by a licensed physician stating that the traveler has completed the mandatory isolation period and is no longer infectious and has been allowed free movement or travel. At pangatlo, a positive RT-PCR test taken not earlier than 10 days but not later than 30 days prior to the date and time of departure from country or port of origin.
32 vaccination sites have been identified in Metro Manila for the pilot rollout of COVID-19 vaccination for children aged 5 to 11 years old next week. These include the Philippine Children's Medical Center, National Children's Hospital, and Philippine Heart Center. Acting Presidential Spokesperson and Cabinet Secretary Carlo Nograles says about 7.5 million children aged 12 to 17 years old have been fully vaccinated against COVID-19. This is equivalent to 59% of the total population in this age bracket.
Inaasahan din ang pagdating ngayong linggo ng Pfizer COVID-19 vaccines na binili ng ating pamahalaan. Dahil ito ay reformulated, ito ay sadyang binili upang eksklusibong gamitin para sa pagbabakuna ng mga bata na nasa edad 5 hanggang 11 taong gulang lamang. Sa Biyernes at 4 ng Pebrero, ang schedule po ng vaccination rollout para sa age group na ito. Sabay-sabay itong isasagawa sa Philippine Heart Center, Philippine Children's Medical Center Hospital, Manila Zoo, SM North EDSA Skydome, and Phil Oil Gym sa lungsod ng San Juan. Mahalaga po ito sa ating paghahanda sa muling pagbabalik ng face-to-face classes o pisikal na balik eskwela.
An update on the Resbakuna sa botika program. Acting Presidential Spokesperson and Cabinet Secretary Carlo Nograles says the government will expand the rollout of the vaccination program in select pharmacies and clinics in the Visayas region following the successful rollout in Baguio City. Resbakuna sa botika program was launched to ramp up the country's inoculation drive and make COVID-19 vaccines accessible to the people.
Baguio City ang kauna-unahang LGU sa labas ng National Capital Region na nag-roll out ng Resbakuna sa botika program. Inaasahan natin na ang programang ito ay ilulunsad na rin sa piling botika at clinic ngayong linggo sa Bacolod City, Cebu City at Iloilo City.
Starting tomorrow, all inbound international passengers at Mactan Cebu International Airport will be required to present negative RT-PCR test results taken within 48 hours before departing the country of origin. They will also be required to present their proof of vaccination. In a memorandum issued by Governor Gwendolyn Garcia, all airline operators are enjoined to request the said documents. Otherwise, travelers would be classified as unvaccinated or partially unvaccinated. Under the rule, those who are unvaccinated, partially vaccinated, or whose vaccination cannot be validated must also have a negative RT-PCR test result, will be swabbed upon arrival, and must stay in a quarantine facility until the release of a second test taken on the 5th day after arrival. As of Friday, Central Visayas has 46 Omicron variant cases after just 22 last week. The region registered a 43% positivity rate on Friday. Meanwhile, private hospitals in Davao City have begun admitting COVID-19 patients due to the growing number of infections. Dr. Michelle Schlosser of the Davao City COVID-19 Task Force attributed the opening of COVID beds in private hospitals to the surge in cases in the city that has overwhelmed the Southern Philippines Medical Center. SPMC is the only public hospital in Davao City that caters to COVID-19 cases. Schlosser said while the surge has overwhelmed the SPMC, other hospitals, city-managed isolation facilities, and temporary treatment and monitoring facilities continue to accept patients. They have also allowed home isolation for those who meet the requirements. Schlosser urged the Davaoenos to get vaccinated to be protected as the coronavirus is still present and active. Still ahead, farmers in Nueva Ecija will start producing dairy products with the help of the Department of Agrarian Reform. And Ilocos Norte opens its Pawile Lake Water Park but without bathing activities. More stories when the PNA Newsroom returns. The COVID-19 pandemic has greatly changed our lives for the worse. Lives and jobs were lost and economies reached a meltdown. Thanks to the arrival of safe and effective vaccines, we are one step closer to normalcy. It's time to do our part, get vaccinated for our safety and for our recovery.
You are there in that community, go there and have yourself vaccinated by any of the vaccines available. They are all potent, they are all effective.
I would like to appeal to all our kababayans, please get vaccinated against COVID-19 and be the government partner in preventing further spread of the disease. I encourage you to get vaccinated as soon as possible time. These vaccines are safe and they are the key to reopening our society. The need for international solidarity and cooperation cannot be made clearer than this pandemic, because everyone is safe. No one is safe globally until everybody is safe.
Vaccines work. The Department of Agriculture in Caraga region has so far provided 153 million pesos worth of assistance to farmers who were badly hit by Typhoon Odette in December last year. DA13 Executive Director Ricardo Oñate Jr. said at least 141 million pesos was taken from the Quick Response Fund or Typhoon Odette that was approved by the DA Central Office. The DA13 rehabilitation responses done with the Philippine Coconut Authority included the provisions of rice, corn and vegetable seeds, planting materials, fertilizers, and insecticides to the farmers. These were aimed to help farmers recover from the devastation of Odette through the rehabilitation of their damaged farms. For the affected fisheries sector, the DA and the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources provided fingerlings and seaweed propagules. Odette left a total of 2.22 billion pesos worth of damage to the agriculture sector in the Caraga. Meanwhile, in Nueva Ecija, the Department of Agrarian Reform turned over a dairy processing center established in Barangay Pesa, Bongabon Town to help boost the livelihood of farmers. Through its village-level farm-focused enhancement development program, the DAR turned over the facility to the Bongabon Dairy Cooperative or BDC on Thursday. The cooperative also received 300,000 pesos from DAR to buy equipment and enhance its dairy processing center. BDC also received 500,000 pesos from the local government. The Department of Trade and Industry, Philippine Carabao Center, and the Department of Science and Technology meanwhile provided the cooperative with technical training and extension assistance. In our business news, micro, small, and medium enterprises in Southeast Asia can now find new customers, suppliers, and events through a business matching portal to help them go international. The ASEAN Coordinating Committee on Micro, Small, and Medium Enterprises has officially launched the ASEAN Access Match, a virtual platform that allows businesses to participate in live events and book matchmaking meetings. Reinhold Elgis, country's director of GIZ Thailand, said in the ASEAN Access Match event, organizers can run unlimited number of matchmaking events of their choice at any time. ASEAN Coordinating Committee on MSME's chair, Dato Suryani Binti Dato Ahmad, said additional challenges include having limited access to information and distribution channels. Apart from showcasing products and technologies, registered members of ASEAN Access can promote these for free in the platform. Satvinder Singh, Deputy Secretary General for ASEAN Economic Community, meanwhile said businesses in the region need to go international as economies recover from the pandemic. Singh urged MSMEs to explore the platform when they look for new markets around the world. The Pawai Lake Water Park pushed through with its opening on January 30, despite an earlier warning not to engage in water contact activities. The Department of Environment and Natural Resources discouraged swimming and other water activities in Pawai Lake due to the presence of E. coli bacteria. The Ilocos Norte provincial government said the DENR granted it an environment compliance certificate, but this was before the lake underwent a water testing. Yanri Raquel, head of the Ilocos Norte Tourism Office, meanwhile said visitors may still have fun and enjoy the water park without dipping into the lake waters. The management likewise assured that safety measures against COVID-19 will be observed. Members of the local media in Surigao del Norte showed their unity as they distributed relief goods to their fellow journalists who were affected by Typhoon Odette. More on this from Claire Gighe.
As Typhoon Odette battered some parts of Visayas and Mindanao, including Surigao del Norte, media practitioners who were supposed to deliver updates were also affected after their station's equipment and towers were damaged. Many of them are in dire need of help as their financial status was badly affected. As such, media persons of Iligan Lanao Energy Press Corps united to help their fellow journalists. With the help and support of the National Grid Corporation of the Philippines or NGCP, Provincial Government of Lanao del Sur, Kiwanis International Division 4B of Iligan City, the Philippine Army and other stakeholders, about 50 media practitioners were chosen as beneficiaries of relief goods to tide them over. The relief goods consisted of rice, coffee, milk, sugar, canned goods, noodles, water, and other basic necessities.
Itong tulong na amin pong natanggap, laking tulong na po ito, especially sa amin na naging biktima. Sa amin dito, ilan lang yung nakabalik ere o normal na operation. Ibang mga membro dito, of course, walang mga sahod pa.
Sa panahon ng trahedya, panahon ng kalamidad, dapat ang mga journalist ay magkakaisa, magtulungan upang maisalbar ang buhay ng bawat isa, bawat pamilya.
Media practitioners in Surigao del Norte look forward to operate normally after their equipment and towers are fixed. For PNA Newsroom, Claire Gigha of the Philippine Information Agency, Iligan City and Lanao del Norte.
At least 10 former members and supporters of the New People's Army from Cagayan de Oro City and Bukidnon Province are expecting to receive government assistance in exchange for the return to the fold of the law. Marita Mawahe reports.
The military and police are preparing to endorse 10 former New People's Army rebels and supporters to avail of the government's Enhanced Comprehensive Local Integration Program, or ECLIP. 2 of the rebels from the Guerrilla Front 12 of the Sub-Regional Committee 5 Crackers Company surrendered on January 28 in Barangay Tuburan, Cagayan de Oro City. The 3rd rebel and the 7 Militia ng Bayan members surrendered to the Army's 8th Infantry Battalion in Impasugon, Bukidnon on January 23. Police Colonel Aaron Mandia, the acting director of the Cagayan de Oro City Police Office, commended the surrenderers for returning to the fold of the law. Meanwhile, a former communist leader thanked the soldiers who saved his life after a clash in Davao de Oro in December last year. Daniel Moses De Llosa of the NPA's Guerrilla Front 2 Sub-Regional Committee 2 Southern Mindanao Regional Command was wounded and abandoned by his comrades in an encounter in Sitio Barigyan, Golden Valley, Mabini. In an interview with John Paul Sanyel Reports, he said it was the soldiers from the 48th Infantry Battalion who saved and treated him. De Llosa was 18 years old and a member of the League of Filipino Students from UP Diliman when he joined the CPP-NPA. His wish is to meet his saviors and personally thank them for giving him a new lease on life. Meanwhile, the Police Regional Office Caraga reported the arrest of a former NPA leader who has been in hiding for more than 3 years. Reynaldo Gaan was arrested by Cabadbaran City Police in Barangay Mahaba in Agusan del Norte. Gaan was among those who ambushed 9 members of a Citizens Armed Forces Geographical Unit on November 2018 in Barangay San Antonio, Remedios, Romualdez. He was facing charges of attempted murder issued by Regional Trial Court Branch 33 in Butuan City. For the PNA Newsroom, I am Marita Muaje.
Up next, from trash to treasure, residents of Ligao City in Albay gets free food in exchange for their waste. And let us take a look at the commemorative Year of the Tiger stamps of the Philippine Postal Corporation as it marks the celebration of Chinese New Year. Details ahead, keep it here on the PNA Newsroom. In sports, the Philippine national women's football team booked on Sunday night the country's first appearance in the FIFA Women's World Cup. The Malditas defeated Chinese Taipei on penalties 4-3 in the quarterfinals of the 2022 AFC Asian Women's Cup in India. With a win, the Philippines will also advance to the semis. The Philippines will face South Korea on February 3, while the other bracket will see China going against Japan. The Philippine Football Federation took to Twitter early Monday morning to congratulate the women's team. Their male counterparts in the Philippine Ascals also sent their congratulatory messages. The Malditas under coach Alan Santachic is the first team to be able to book a slot in the World Cup. Police arrested 7 suspected drug peddlers, including 2 minors, and seized some 3.2 million pesos worth of illegal drugs in Bulacan on Saturday. Operatives seized 50 grams of shabu with an estimated value of 400,000 pesos were seized in Barangay Minuyan proper, San Jose del Monte City. Meanwhile, 20 bricks of dried marijuana leaves worth 2.8 million pesos were confiscated in Barangay Panasahan, Malolos City. The two teenagers have been turned over to the city's Social Welfare and Development Office, while criminal complaints were being prepared against the other 5 suspects. Colonel Romel Ochave, acting Bulacan Police Provincial Director, said Bulacan Police remains relentless and vigorous in its intensified campaign against illegal drugs. In our news overseas, President-elect Xiomara Castro is sworn in as Honduras' first woman president. U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris were among those who attended Castro's inauguration last Thursday and met with her to tackle immigration and other issues between the two countries. Castro, the wife of former President Manuel Zelaya, who was ousted in a coup 12 years ago, took office after a landslide victory in a November election. The former First Lady spoke against the corruption and organized crime that has infiltrated the government. She also proposed a progressive agenda in a country with deep conservative roots and has vowed to legalize abortion in some cases. Residents of Ligao City in Albay have been enjoying free food and grocery items in exchange for their garbage. The Ligao City government is conducting a series of waste collection activities under its May Kabuhayan sa Basura program. Residents can bring their recyclable waste at designated schedules to get in return free noodles, canned goods, and other food and non-food items. The city's Ecological Solid Waste Management Department has so far collected over 975 bottles and 2,000 kilos of recyclable wastes from 4 barangays. It said the incentive mechanism program under Mayor Patricia Gonzalez Alsua is part of the city government's bid to reduce plastic waste and encourage recycling and proper waste segregation. The Philippine Postal Corporation launched today commemorative Year of the Tiger stamps to mark the celebration of Chinese New Year at the Seascape Village in Pasay City. Stamps, souvenir sheets, and official first day covers of New Year 2022 Year of the Tiger stamps will be available at the philatelic counter of the Manila Central Post Office in Liwasang, Bonifacio, Manila. In a news release last Sunday, Postmaster General Norman Fulgencio said the launching will give everyone an opportunity to enjoy the Chinese New Year despite the lack of public celebrations due to the pandemic. He said PhilPost firmly believes that this Year of the Tiger will propel the post office to greater heights as it gears up to modernize its systems, innovate its products and services, and immortalize the history, culture, talents, and achievement of Filipinos around the world. The Chinese Lunar New Year begins on February 1st. Let's take another look at today's biggest stories. Metro Manila and 7 other provinces will ease to Alert Level 2 starting tomorrow.
Nasa Alert Level 2 na po ang Metro Manila simula 1 ng Pebrero 2022.
The government clarifies that the no vax, no ride policy is automatically suspended under Alert Level 2. More pharmacies and clinics are joining the government's Resbakuna sa botika program. And let us take a look at the commemorative Year of the Tiger stamps of the Philippine Postal Corporation as it marks the celebration of Chinese New Year. As Filipinos, we all have a vital role to play in preventing the spread of COVID-19. So remember, wear your face masks and face shields, wash your hands often, practice safe physical distancing, go out only for essential reasons, and get vaccinated as soon as possible to protect ourselves, our families, and the community. Together, we can beat COVID-19. Thank you for watching another episode of the PNA Newsroom. For more news content, check our webpage or log on to the Philippine News Agency's Facebook and Twitter accounts. And for more stories about the government and how it serves Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all of our social media platforms and websites. We are shown on the pages of the PCOO and its attached agencies. Also, watch us on television on PTV4 and IBC13. And today we are having joint celebrations. First off, it is Chinese New Year and the Year of the Tiger. It is also the birthday of one of our news anchors here at the Philippine News Agency. So we would like to greet Miss Marita Mawahe a very happy birthday. And that's your daily dose of the biggest stories that you need to know from the PNA Newsroom. We tell stories that inspire change. I am William Theo. Good day. Happy Chinese New Year. Kong Hei Fat Choi to everyone.